I hear wacko, but I just can't see it.
Ready?
Wow! It all makes sense now. These buttons are they're all labeled. The audience can't see them, but we've got engaged thrusters, parachute. I like this big red one, defend. And then this big yellow one, be boop, it says. So, what's going on there?
All right, soldiers, welcome to your first Superbot pilot training session. Yes. I am Commander Kim, and I'll be guiding this particular session. So, I know you're worried, but don't be too worried.
I am worried.
Before we start, the first thing you have to remember in this particular training is teamwork. Teamwork. You have to verbally communicate to each other, working together to control this Superbot. And to control this Superbot, you have to move one leg at a time. Left, right, left. Try with left, right, left, right. Not too hard. This is a very delicate piece of machinery that we spent a lot of money on.
Don't go to the end. Just go hard. Too hard. Gentle.
And to rotate the head of Superbot, you will have to turn left until you touch this. Yes. And if you want to go stop the rotation, you will have to position to the center.
Should that be plugged in anything?
Yeah. It will.
All right. Just thought I'd check.
One more time. Do not break anything.
I don't think these buttons work.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sir, we just received a transmission that Sector 44 is under attack, and our identified alien spacecraft is sabotaging the city. What should we do?
Well, it seems that you boys have your first mission. Your mission is to destroy the alien spacecraft and stop them from destroying any part of the city. Just remember your training and good luck.
Do you think they made a world?
Next group. Whoa.
Could you put in
One of the buttons.
Sorry. Yeah. Ready? I'm gonna walk now. Alright, let's go.
And you turn off that music button.
Turn it. We got this. Alright. Can you hit that?
compromised. Your controls are mixed up. Figure it out. Verbally talk to each other. Figure out what's working does what.
Okay, this turns left. This turns left. This is the one leg. Alright, so this turns around. That's the other leg. Alright. There we go. Good, good. I'll do this. Now you make me choose the left one. Wait. Alright, we got this. Other foot. Other foot. Alright. Turn to the other way. Now you do your foot. Good. Now I'll go foot. Alright.
System restored. Let's control that back to normal.
That works? You gotta get to that purple thing, and I'm sure everything's gonna be fine. We did it. We blew that out. All that needed was balloons to pop. That would have.
I really want a baseball bat now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is an interesting world. First of all, congrats on it hanging together. One thing you did a good job of is you set expectations really low for its ability to hang together. And so when it worked at all, I was like, man, that's much more robust than I expected. This thing is fun to look at. I mean, just looking at it, you kind of want to touch it. It's got all these kind of funny buttons. It was a little disappointing when I realized that all these buttons, self-destruct and laser vision,
Existential crisis.
yeah, like those aren't actually usable. And it took some work to fix. The only reason I knew the defend button was usable is because it's at a funky angle and it has aluminum foil and there's a wire. There's a wire hanging off of it.
It's very subtle.
Yeah, right. Okay, and we talked about the need for in a two-player cooperative game, the need to create situations that demanded communication. We didn't need a lot of communication in the beginning.
No.
Because I'm walking, you're turning. We don't really need to talk about it. Who's going to do the defend button is a bit of a question. The hardest thing for me to understand was how the defend button worked, because that laser would come and a circle was shrinking, and I'm like, do we have to wait? Is it bad to hit the defend button too soon? Can I hit it any time in there? How does that thing work?
So the shrinking red dot is like the enemy narrowing down on you, like focusing on you.
Got it. See, that wasn't clear because it looked like the laser was already touching us, and my game designer hat was saying, well, they're probably trying to make it like it's focusing down on us, but it sure didn't look like it.
And did we ever get hit? Because the big question once.
No, we were that good then.
Yeah, exactly. Because once it was a timing thing. The next question is, well, how long does the shield last?
Right.
And I never had a good sense, and we never had a case where we could learn sort of like either failure or success clearly.
Right.
And like so when the shield went away, it wasn't really clear that it went away.
Yeah.
And so like that whole sequence never got a lot of confidence in like what is what.
So one interesting thing worth noting, when you had us testing this early, and I was using these, I was pushing them to their full limit, right? Because people generally will use an interface until they get feedback, and the only feedback when there's no software on is like when you hit the ends of the line, and then bang, so you kind of bang it around. But once the software was on and I got partway in and I saw the thing move forward, my arm didn't want to move forward anymore. And so I was able to move it the way you needed to keep it from breaking. But there's just so the feedback on that was good. I was worried because I'm like, do I have to do these together? How's this going to work? But then the feedback was very clear. And it's sort of fun by making you do left, right, left, right. It is a little bit of a skill challenge to do that, partly just to keep in your brain, wait, which one is next? And so that part was definitely kind of fun.
Well, and sort of in contrast to that, the steering wheel feedback is weird. because it's not a steering wheel. Because the steering wheel is sort of like continuous. It's two buttons at either extreme.
Right.
And it's like sort of had to make a mental shift. Okay, get to that button, get to this button. And especially when we got to the swap controls, like that was a sort of a thing to figure out. Is like how to map the steering wheel to the leg, and even figure that out because we were sort of. I think one of the things that took us a bit was the feedback of did the robot just take a step or did the head turn a little bit based on a single button press?
Yeah.
There was a little bit of like sorting that out, but once we got it, actually, it worked better than I expected on the swap controls.
The mixing up was a fun idea. Definitely, it was good that you guys knew that we wouldn't be able to figure it out, and you knew to jump in and be like, no, controls are all confused. You're gonna have to talk to each other, and you told us, and you told us, and you told us, talk to each other, and that was good because you knew what the situation was. You handled it. You got us in there doing it. And it was definitely a meaningful challenge trying to figure out how this crazy interface was all scrambled up. And it was really tough because it was things like my left control now made us turn right, and my right control was really a left foot. It was very, very hard to get a mental handle on it. So there was a good challenge, probably a little too hard for the circumstance. And then you threw in that final challenge at the end where we had to do this and then do that and then do the other thing. And we were able to figure that out.
And I think it's a sort of testament, the challenge of this world was figuring this out, making this work, and like working together. It was not, like the lasers weren't that big of a threat, the end boss wasn't that big of a threat. And I think you made good choices on not making failure in the world be much of a thing. Because we were like, it was like success, just getting to this to work was the big challenge. And I don't know how much longer we had on like certain things, like how close to the edge we were in certain things like failing, but I was happy that the world wasn't punishing us more than the interface kind of was.
Yeah.
Actually, in the initial few builds, we didn't have a long shield window. Like it was like the moment you lift it, the shield is gone. But it was like, people were finding it a hard time to defend, so we just introduced like a 3-second window on the shield. So just to make it easy.
That was good in terms of kind of. I mean, this really worked as sort of a crazy party game, and it was a fun fantasy. We're controlling this big robot together. That was sort of nice. If I could change one thing, I think it would be the steering wheel. Having the steering wheel work like buttons. It might actually just be better to have a turn left and turn right button. I don't know what you think about that. But on the other hand, this thing is so crazy that maybe it sort of makes sense that it's.
If I change one thing, I would just make the controls more robust, so I'd have more confidence in them. Now the fact that they were fragile meant I sort of was a little easier on it and took my time.
I mean, mine were really good. Like my thing there was never a time where I felt like I missed it or it didn't connect. How did this connect anyway? What is it touching?
It connects midway.
Oh, it's actually kind of cool. I don't know if people can see what they did under here. I kind of want to lift it up, but it's all going to fall apart, but kind of who cares right now, right? So if you can see under here, there you go. That's not bad. So look, so they got this foil wrapped pole here, and then a foam wedge that really catches it. So it's actually quite hard to miss, and it gives you good feedback when you get in there. That's actually a pretty nice little mechanism right there. Oh, aluminum and foam. Okay, you can bring that down. All right. Kevin, do you have any notes?
It's interesting. I didn't know there were shields. I couldn't tell if you were shooting whatever that was, or they were shooting you. I didn't feel that was communicated well.
I don't think I understood it until about halfway through.
And when you started to talk about it being a shield, it's like I kind of wanted. Why didn't the screen go slightly gray?
Well, they did that because a hexagonal field comes up over the whole screen when you hit that button.
I don't remember that I saw that.
It was.
I finally started to notice that. That's what clued me that it was.
Because the problem is that laser's so bright.
And I thought there might have been something going on in the bottom of the screen because there was some feedback, but you guys were in front of it.
Right. Now there was this hexagonal thing, but it was subtle compared to the effects, and so it was hard. I didn't really get it till about halfway through, and then I started putting it together.
And
I was gonna say one thing to do is just change the word here to shield.
To shield, right? The button says defend. If that said shield, that would have been better. Because I'm seeing lasers and defend. I'm like, oh, maybe we're shooting a laser. That's how we're going to defend ourselves. And when I saw the laser, I thought maybe we were shooting the laser. Just because there's so much going on.
And it
it's
was
hard
confusing from an audience point of view also.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I also found the green at the top to be a little distracting because it was the only piece of green. And then I realized when you went into the dysfunction that it was saying that the system didn't work. Maybe because I thought the world was really handsome, but I kept trying to look up at that green spot. It was drawing my eye away from the action, and that if there had been some more green details around the portal, the picture frame, I wouldn't have been as distracted by that one color.
Yeah, cool.
Good work, guys.
Yeah.